Hello, hello, hello. How is everybody doing? Hi, Michelle. Hi, Cookie. I hope everybody's having an awesome, awesome Wednesday. I am. I relaxed today. I did not do too much. I didn't give myself too much. Blake and I hung out a little bit, and the other dogs hung out a little bit. And then by the time it got hot, we came in the house. So today I'm really going to be slapping some paint on some paper. I figured I'd make the desk look beautiful. I was cleaning up, getting things shipped out and ready, getting Eddie's package shipped out. Hi, Ava Lee. How are you? Oh, let me hit live on myself so I can be caught up. Michelle says, I'm determined to have a good day. Listen, then, Michelle, today's conversation goes right along with that declaration that you just made. Trusting the process. That's what we're going to continue talking about, trusting the process. Ooh, yes. Ava Lee, I am doing great. I have no complaints. Really don't. I'm going to be using Daniel Smith today, along with some other colors that I have with this kit. Not this kit, this subscription that I have. Who is this? Let's see, who is the artist? No, it's not Debbie Walker, though. It's not Debbie Walker. Let's see, who is it? I think it's Liesel. Liesel. Liesel, yes. Liesel. Liesel Art Studio. So I was thinking about doing something like this today, but I want blue, so I'm gonna do blue. But this is Liesel. I'm doing something through Craftimo. I thought I had canceled it, but I guess I put it on delay. Then the delay kicked off, so that it was time for it to pop back on, and then I got a box, and so I put all of the. I was supposed to have with Debbie Walker, but I put all the colors here, so I'm gonna slap these colors on. We're gonna do some painting. Gonna slap some paint on some paper. We're gonna do some things. Not stressing. Gonna trust the process of whatever comes out. That's what we're gonna do. No worries. Hey Zell. Hey Carol. Carol, are you doing good? How did the weather do you yesterday? My weather held up. Didn't get any rain. Lively. Hello. So beautiful art, journal items, aesthetics. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. So welcome to Create Joy Studio. I am Karen McCoy. I'm the one that tries my best to create joy in the studio, even on days when I don't feel like it. And today is a good day. I feel like it. I feel like doing all the things. Oh, FedEx just came. What I'm getting from FedEx? I'm getting none from FedEx. Must be for Mr. McCoy. I'm not in a rush because I didn't order nothing. Well, I did, but it's not coming until next week. Because, when Crystal was in the studio, she said we didn't have any more gold. So I thought that was a little strange. I went on a hunt. I did have one gold. So we got gold, but y'all know me. I have to have backups. All right. So today my color is going to be yellow. But I'm going to do some blue and some yellow. Hi, Carla. How are you? Carol says, hot today. We had much needed rain and thunder. Okay, well, great. For those that like to get the rain, I like to get the rain. That's less on my water bill. So I'm here for the rain. I'm with you. Now, it does make my grass grow faster, but I don't care. Look at that. Isn't it beautiful? Is that palette not beautiful? One of my few palettes that is kind of put together in color for me. One of them. Again, I don't care about all that. I just get my paint, slap it on, do what I do. If it's together, it's together. That's why I'm over here. Hi, Julie Parker. That's why I'm over here trusting the process with my acrylic paints now, learning how to mix them up and slap them on the gel plate. Yesterday, I painted this yesterday. And so after we got off the live, I had, y'all know I told y'all I opened my Dina Wakley's gloss sprays, acrylic medium gloss sprays, and it just screamed, spray me. So I sprayed it. Look at that. Is that not beautiful? I feel like I'm a little tight. Let's back up some so you can see more of the desk. Yes, there we go. Don't want to be too tight. I mean, it works when I'm painting, but I don't want you too tight. But I like the way that came out and the way it's around. And I'll probably come back in and maybe do some more colors. It's still not done. Then I had this one that was kind of like a stamp off of my stamps. And then I stamped some other stamps. I can't remember what the stamp was, but it was my stamp, Inspiring Words, but I can't remember what that one is. But you can get the stamps over at PM Artist Studio. There'll be a link in there because y'all know Cookie knows all of them. I don't. I know mine. I know mine for sure, for sure. And for anybody, if you're joining and you're coming in and you still wanted to take advantage of the art journals, the handmade art journals that I had, let me show them to you. The new ones I didn't put up here. Stitched. Feel real, real bad that I have not put these up yet, but I'm going to do it tomorrow. I promised Bernadette I would do it tomorrow. I will update Slap and Paint on Paper tomorrow. Promise. Promise. So these are Coptic stitch. So for those that were like, you need some inspiration. Um, these are my gel print. I need to put a cover page on that or leave it and let somebody else put the cover page on it, whoever gets it. But these still have some creative space in here. But it's my gel pulls or my roll off, my brayer off. And it's just kind of like a collaboration. You get to get my art and then do what you want to do in it. However, whatever, art journal, whatever. These are Coptic stitch. So these will be $20. The other ones, like this right here, are $10. So some of these are just painty papers that I've turned into a little book. So I did some more because everything they did pretty good. So I was just like, okay, well, I'll go and make some more painted papers. So we have a box. We have a box full. That's what I got left for those. And I have one, two, three of these. So I'm going to update my website. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. But look, this is my stencil. I mean, this is with a stencil, and this is Darcy's stencil. And then on inside, these have black pages. And if you've been on the channel while I've done, gel pulls or gel printing, I did all these on black pages. And so it's already a collaboration with me and my stamps, Darcy's stamps, Becky's stamps, Miriam's, whoever I put in here. So if you look at it, you can get it and then you add your stuff to it. So this one is Coptic stitch. These are Coptic stitch and it's 4 signatures in this one and it's 4 signatures in this one. Now this one is black pages. This one is regular white pages. And the other one over there has black pages in it too. So I promise you I'm going to update the slappingpaintonpaper.com. I promise. I promise. Promise. Because as Mr. McCoy said, they can't sell just sitting over there on my cart. You got to see them, and then I forget to talk about them. So that's my little side in World Watercolor Month. Hey Darcy, hi Julie Parker. Darcy, I was looking at your video this morning and I didn't finish. So I have you in the queue to finish looking at that one. So we have this one. I have this one. So I'm gonna flip through these a little bit, not too quick, but I want you to see because what I'm going to do is kind of along the lines of taking it a little slower today, just a little slower today. And in that, because I really, really want you to enjoy World Watercolor Month, and this is 2026. The thumbnail says watercolor leaves. Yes, I love doing watercolor leaves, and that's why I wanted to pull out. Where is it at? All of these because they had leaves the way I kind of do them. Yeah, like that one. So we're gonna kind of look at the leaves, and even this one I put leaves, but it's Darcy's stamp that we put on that one. And we're gonna do maybe, but I'm gonna paint. I'm gonna slap some paint on some paper. I'm gonna trust the process because, and today we're gonna talk about trusting the process when life feels chaotic, right? You know how it is. You wake up and you just got so much to do. That's kind of like chaos. That's just what you look at. You're just like, and you want it to slow down, but you can't because you need everything on your list done, you know? So, if you're here, welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome back to Create Joy Studio. I am Karen McCoy, and I am super duper glad that you're here today for World Watercolor Month. Today is actually my day, Wednesday. For those that are new, either live or on team replay, Mondays and Wednesdays at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time is my regular time, even after World Watercolor Month is over. So I am glad that you're here. Do hit that thumbs up, that bell notification all. Now, check this out. If you're not subscribed to the channel right now, don't worry. Don't rush. Don't rush. Just kind of, we're going to have a little coffee, have a little tea. And if you're here by the time the halfway point comes for the live, then I'll give you an invitation. Hey, Barb. So no rush. Just sit and, kind of hang out with the other subscribers. And if you are already subscribed to the channel, welcome back. I appreciate you coming back and showing up, especially since it's World Watercolor Month. And I am here every single day this month. I do appreciate that, right? And to anyone who is new, welcome into the studio. This is a space where truthfully, we talk honesty. I am very transparent as I create joy. I want you to give yourself grace because I give myself grace. And I want you to remind others to give you grace. And if they don't, put up a boundary, right? But we have to remind ourselves that we still have a choice in how we live our lives. So today, as we continue with World Watercolor Month, and we're going to continue our conversation about what? Trust in the process. Look at these watercolor backgrounds. They are just so yummy. I feel like this one is just my favorite. I keep pulling it out for y'all to just check out. Let's let that sit there for a minute while I get my paper and some other stuff together, right? But today I want to talk about trust in the process. If you know me, and if you've been following me, you've been on this journey with me, you know that I have been trusting the process of life for sure, for sure. Because there's nothing else I could do. I don't care what was going on, whether I had to go to court, whether I had to deal with phone calls, I had to trust the process. There was nothing, I couldn't speed it up. I couldn't make life like it's 5 years going by super duper fast. I couldn't do anything. I had to trust the process because my life was very chaotic. So, you know me, I like to use my life experience and everything that I've gone through, the wisdom that I've gained, right? To talk about like when people are not showing up the way that you expected them to, when your plans change, when your heart is trying to heal, you're trying to learn how to forgive, when you're realizing that some people are no longer walking this journey with you. These are the kind of things that I call chaos. And I had to figure out how was I going to live through the chaos. And I feel like I did a great job. I feel like I did and is doing a great job. So if you're in a situation right now and life is just, using you like, you are in a volleyball match or a tennis match, don't worry about it. It'll be all right. And I'm going to put borders on today. see right there. And we're going to put pretty borders on today. There we go. Blake is in the studio, and you won't hear him. He's good and tired. He had a turkey wing earlier, and he has pretty much been knocked out. And for those that are new, Blake is my puppy, number 10 of the game. Let's see, get that on there. This is, I can already see this tape is very pretty. I won't be using this to do this no more. Because this is some pretty tape. Look at that. It's all about the flowers. There we go. All the way to the edge. Or if it, you make sure it at least go over the edge. So we're just making a frame. That's all. Probably should have did something with that tape. But if all else fails, I can hit it with the heating tool to make it release. So they don't rip up my paper. Okay. All right, I'm gonna, because these are brand new, I am going to use them. We're gonna see. They look like they sucked up the water. Got a new brush. So in World Watercolor Month and you're new to watercoloring, these are the things you need to get started. You need paper, you need watercolors, you need a brush, and you need water. And maybe a little sprayer to spray your brushes. Not totally not necessary. Now, brush size is important if you're starting out. I say start out with small. Don't start out with something huge like this. This is more to slap down water. But it doesn't really matter. Trust the process. Do what you want to do. Do what makes your heart happy. I'm not here to tell you how to do it, okay? That is not it. But what I am here to tell you to do is trust in the process. So if you're watercoloring for the very first time doing World Watercolor Month, trust the process. Now it seems like it's too far out. Jeez. All right, how's the screen look for you guys? You tell me. Do you want me to come in closer? Because I feel like it's a little far, but that's just me looking at my screen. All right, I'm going to do a little, am I going to sketch it out first? No, we're not going to do that. Who needs to do that? I'm not going to do that. I'm going to start out with, what color are you? All right, you'll work. Oh, that's kind of sticky. I like sticky paint. Let's wet it up. Closer a little bit. Okay, will do. Because I'm going to leave the watercolor palette right there. Because I figure that's all you need is the watercolor palette and the paper. And because I'm left-handed, y'all know I need to make sure I got my stuff together. All right, let's go. That was kind of sticky. I didn't like that. Let's see if it's just because it's new, me just wetting them up. Wet it up a little bit more. And I am gonna contaminate a lot of these to get a color that I'm looking. All right, there's that. All right, all right. That will be helpful for anyone. Okay, cool. All right. Thank you. Thank you, Cookie. Thank you. Thank you. So I'm kind of going to go down here. Just going to slap some paint on slap the paint on. I want it to be, probably should have did what I wanted, but we're not going to worry about it. That there, go over that. I'm glad y'all can't hear that dog because he is snowing up something back down there. It's gonna be right there and bring that around there. Yeah, let's just use that. And come over here. Watercolor taught me how to trust the process. Because watercolor says I will not be controlled. And when you use a lot of water, that's when you kind of I feel like it was my version of cheating because I realized that putting down a lot of water clear with a little bit of pigment so that you can see where it is. I got that. That's going to be one side of it. we're going to kind of go over on the other side and kind of do a little right there. Pull that one out. You got to utilize the side because we're having it's like framed out. And remember, once you put that little tip on there, that's kind of how you really, really hone in on your leaves. So I'm going to just keep putting this down. We're not worrying about what it looks like. Just putting it down with the water, and it will come in later. All right, that's going to be that. And then maybe right here. Do some little ones that look like they kind of coming out of the side. And when you put the tape down, like I put the washi tape down, then that means you don't have to worry about where it's going to go or whatever, because I want the edge. I want this framed out. All right, I like that. Okay. Now I'm going to let that dry a little bit because I want to work with just this one piece. Because why? I want you to really, really look at me when I'm doing watercolor on here. I kind of do three different prints so that I can keep going. But I want to trust the process and really just kind of doing it all. I'm gonna have to put some more right there. See, that's already. Oh, it's gonna run. Watch it run. Watch it run. Which is okay. And we're gonna kind of make this in the center. We're just gonna slap the paint down. We're just gonna kind of make us a little flower. That's good enough. All right. So has anybody been participating in World Watercolor Month? Like you're doing your thing, you're having fun. Or if it's your first time and you've never thought about watercoloring before in your life, tell me how are you enjoying it? Is it fun? Watercolor is the best, man. I love watercolor. I love watercolor. I love acrylic, which then makes it mixed media for me. Let's get that. Put that right there. Pop that in there so that can go on and kind of dry up. Very much so. There we go. Boom. Boop, boop, boop. Put a little bit of that in there. Hello, Mariah. How are you? Welcome to Create Joy Studio. I hope you're having fun today. Okay, so when you're realizing that some people are no longer walking with you on this journey, does that make you mad? Does it make you upset? Especially when you like them, you wanted them in your life. They cause chaos, right? So when you're trusting the process, when life has chaos or chaotic, because a lot of people feel like what's going on in the world today, it's just so their world is chaotic. They feel like they don't know. Like a couple people I talked to, they don't know whether they're going or they're going or coming. And I had to really think about it. And I was just like, you know what? I can kind of relate to that a little bit, not a lot, because I've learned how to pretty much control the chaos in my life because I know what peace looks like now, and I don't want none of the foolishness. I just don't. And so I trust the process even through the chaotic times, but sometimes it still doesn't matter, right? You have to keep moving forward, even when some people have decided not to move forward with you. I had to learn that it's okay to just move forward. Doesn't mean that they're angry at me, doesn't mean that I'm angry at them. It doesn't even mean that I'm going to be bitter or, like standoffish. That we're not going to worry about. It means that I understand that everybody cannot go where your healing is taking you. I've lost some people on the journey because I chose my healing over the chaos. I just like when it's very, very peaceful. I can sit on my porch and it is peaceful, and all I hear is the birds chirping, the cows mooing, the chickens doing their thing, the crickets. I like that. So everybody can't go where your peace is taking you, i.e., me. Everybody can't go where my growth is taking me. I'm okay with that. Hey, Bernadette. And that's okay. So today I want to talk to the person who is trying to trust the process while also learning how to let go, how to forgive, and to keep walking forward for your own benefit. Because sometimes the process is not just about what you're building. Trying to tell you now, I'm trying to tell you. Sometimes you got to just look over people and don't worry about it. It'll be okay. Because sometimes the process is about what you're becoming, who you're turning into. And becoming requires you to be honest with you, requires you to have courage. Remember, we got to have courage. We have to have the willingness to forgive and all of that. When we do all those things, we usually are going to get our peace. And becoming requires accepting that some people just are not part of this chapter in our lives, but they are not assigned to the whole story. They were assigned to some parts of your life, but they might not be assigned to this part. And that's okay. So let's talk about that a little bit more. Let's talk about that. Trusting the process sounds good until the process kind of, gets uncomfortable. You got to tell that person who has always been on the journey with you, and you got to tell them, yeah, you know what? I don't want to hang out, or I'm okay, we're good. You got to tell them that, right? And then you got to get over being, what's the one thing? We have to get over the, um, what is it? The people pleasing. We can't feel guilty about it. We got to let it go. Listen, y'all, I'm usually, when I do detail work, I'm usually not on live. So I feel like I got to pause so that this gets down the way I want it to. Boom. Trust in the process, literally. So trust in the process. I don't really like that, but we're gonna let it dry. We're not gonna worry about it, right? We're gonna let it dry. So it sounds good until you have to keep going without the support that usually other the people that y'all have you ever heard people need you to need them? Right? But there's no support from them for you. It's a one way. It's not reciprocal. It's only one way. Right? So those are the people that I'm talking about. You want people in your life that's going to cheer you on, that's going to love on you when life gets bad. You want people in your life that's going to you don't have to over explain, right? It sounds good until you have to stop explaining. So you don't want to over explain. You don't want to explain at all. You simply want to live the life that you are being called to live. And most of the time, usually as women, we get to a point till we realize we're just like, wait a minute, why I don't want to do this no more? And usually it's because you get wise, you get a little bit more wisdom, and then you're just like, you know what? I don't even have the energy to do that no more. Like I don't want to. Like I was telling, like when the girls were here this weekend, I was just like, I don't care if I don't go out the gate. I'm okay. And now, especially since I don't found out people do deliver out my way, I don't necessarily have to go out. I can order what I want online. But y'all know me, I have to go out because I have to, I don't want to become a hermit in my own home either. But when you don't want to deal with people, this is what I'm talking about, because the chaos, or when you don't feel supported, or you just, the plan isn't working. Those are the kind of things I'm talking about. But what about when you have to stand firm to those people who you said no to, right? What about that? Hey, Shay, what about that? What about when you have to keep believing in yourself, even when there's nobody there to say you're doing a good job? You have to be your biggest cheerleader. What about when you have to forgive yourself first, not because you deserve it, but because in order to move forward and claim your own stuff, you have to accept and forgive yourself. You got to accept your mess, and then you got to forgive yourself, and then you got to move forward. That is the conversation. Forgiveness doesn't always mean, that, like, when you forgive other people, it doesn't mean that you're necessarily going to be in their, you're not going to show up at the Christmas party or the um or even the what's anything, Thanksgiving, whatever. You're just not going to do it. You're deciding, or you're choosing you. You're choosing you, right? And you can forgive someone and still move forward without them. Trust me. Been there, done that. You can release someone and wish them well. Been there, done that. You can love people and still understand they no longer belong in your daily journey. I call that maturity. That's the best thing I ever could have done for myself, was grow up, accept my fault in whatever it is, get my behind up off the floor, and trust the process. Because trusting the process starts with believing in yourself. Hey, Allie K, how are you? I went out yesterday and it was a lot of work. Yeah, sometimes going outside is just, it's a lot of work. It is. It's a lot of work. Especially now. It's a lot going on outside. It's not like, you're going to go outside, and sometimes you're going to meet people that are just going to be just mean for the hell of it. But remember, love, you're going to show up and show them what better looks like, right? Doesn't mean that you're going to have to accept their foolishness. Doesn't mean you're going to even cuss them out. No, we're not going to do that. We're going to be the better of them. Well, let me speak for me. I'm going to be the better. I'm going to show up better. I'm going to try my best. I try my best anyway. I'm trying to live a life that's better. Like I say, as for me, I'm trying to live a life that's better. I want to be a good representative of when God says, I sent my son to die for the sins of the world. And then he says that, you have to be the light you got to be a good light. You can't be a bad light. So I don't want to shine my light so that, I mean, some days, y'all, I'll let you know, but some days it's hard. I know it's hard. That's what I'm talking about. The chaos. Trust in the process. In the chaos, it does begin with you. And it does begin with believing in yourself, right? Not just believing in yourself, but believe. Really believe. Believe what you have lived, believe what you have learned in life, right? Because what your peace is telling you is you're good. You got this. Believe what your growth has shown you. You learn. Remember, I told y'all I done seen that movie before, and I'd be like, I don't want to see it no more. Right? Don't want to see no movies that I've already seen. Be like, that looks like it's getting ready to be trouble. I think I'm gonna go home now. Have a good day. Right? Believe what your growth has shown you. You've gone through some stuff for a reason. Okay. Sometimes we're waiting for other people to confirm what we already know. We want them to, like, and I'm guilty of this, so I'm gonna use me. It's good when you hear people say, yes, you're changing. Oh, you're growing. Like, oh my goodness, you're making the right decision. Or like when somebody say, you know what, you're kind of moving differently. That's a compliment to me. But sometimes you don't have people saying that. So you have to get in the mirror and tell yourself the very things. Be like, girl, you know what? You made the right decision on that. You are growing up. I like what you did with that. I like what you didn't say. Normally, you probably would have done cut somebody out by now. I like that you didn't do that. I like that you took the high road. I'm so proud of you. That's what you got to get in the mirror and tell yourself. Sometimes you got to just be your own cheerleader, right? Because people, and I'm saying people outside of you, outside of your family, outside of your household, they will make you almost just go berserk. Now I'm speaking for me. Now, if y'all agree and you've had this journey, put in the chat journey. Just put journey. Like, you understand what I'm saying. Oh, that is so pretty. Look at that. Oh, let's kind of go over here. Let's lay this brush. Remember I told you about the belly of the brush? Sometimes you just lay it down to get that and just go all the way up. Boom. And tip it. Boop, boop, boop. Look at that. Because this one is full. That one's coming out the side. You don't need a lot. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. But I also want you sometimes when you think about healing or when you think about where you are in your life. For me over here on my healing journey, sometimes, I cannot pause the healing while waiting on people to kind of understand the process. We had a conversation about that yesterday, over explaining it. I don't have the mental fortitude to keep trying to explain things. So what I do is I set healthy boundaries and hopefully people will understand. Oh, she not up for the BS that we used to bring over here. Or they'll say, oh, she thinks she better than. Now this is the best thing people can say to me. Oh, you think you better than me? I didn't say it, you did. But no, I'm just over here setting healthy boundaries for me. And there just comes a times when I have to say, I know what I know. I have grown from what I've gone through, and I'm not the same person that I used to be, and I'm just allowed to move forward. And I just don't want to deal with the arrogance or the ignorance, and I'm going to keep trusting me. And self trust is necessary when you are building a life that is honest, peaceful, and full of joy. Remember, I'm giving myself grace so that I can love on me, and I have to trust me. So I want you to ask yourself, y'all know I got questions every now and then. I got this question. Where have I been waiting for someone else to validate what I already know? For me, the long time was being an artist, like saying I am an artist. That was just the hardest thing for me to be, the hardest thing for me to say. So when people would say it and they would validate it, but I didn't really walk into it. But I really feel like the validation needed to be inside of me. So have you guys been waiting for someone else to validate something that you already know? And then the other question is, where have you been doubting yourself because someone else does not understand? Now, my grief journey, that's what my grief journey is. So anyway, we're going to move forward to forgiveness. All of that lies in the forgiveness. And that's what I realized that I think it was yesterday, we was talking about some things and I realized I still have some things I need to forgive. So I had to go back in my journal and we had to write down some things. I had to write down some new things and I was just like, okay, Lord, help me with this and help me so that the movie doesn't look the same, but that at least I can look at part 2 or part 3. We don't want a redo of part 1. You see what I'm saying? So that kind of is where I am with that. Now let's take this. I gotta flip this over. And I kind of want to come in around that. Lay that down. And put that over and boop. And then come over here and boop. Come over here and boop. Gotta boop it. You gotta boop it. And pull that out of there a little bit. It's gonna just look like it's a little bit more. It's got more pigment because it's growner. It's a bigger one up under there. Now let that dry and then it'll do a little bit more. But that blue is different from my other blue. So let's take some of that, get some of that. Let's spray it out. Oh, so I found out, Bernadette, I found out that our birdies, they are gone. I saw them with their mom. They kind of was over on the flower. I had moved the flower. They were still on the flower. So they only stay in the nest like I think it said, when I looked it up, 15 to 20 days. So from time of the eggs and all. So I was like, okay. So they didn't, it's good to know that they didn't get taken because I was worried they got taken. Let's put this in here and kind of go put those on there. Yes, there we go. Pop those in there. There we go. I'll let that'll dry a little bit and you'll be able to see them more. There we go. Boop, boop, boop. Boop, boop, boop. Okay. Detail. Getting into some details today. I don't know what kind of birds they are. I tried to take a picture and I couldn't. I couldn't. Couldn't find it. I mean, I couldn't, yeah, couldn't find it on the thing. No, that's the wrong color on there. Get your other brush. So today I'm using 4 brushes to do this. So when I go and you do a flower, like pretty much like this, I kind of don't stick to one brush. Y'all notice before, where I was doing one thing, we're doing backgrounds or we was painting leaves. I have brush for leaves or whatever. So it's a little different. But this is drying, that's drying. I'm gonna go over here. I want this color to come back out of there. So let's get some more of this. Yeah, I don't like these. These are sticky. I don't like sticky paints. And I'm gonna try my best to keep with them, but I really want to go over there and dig into my Daniel Smith because they're not sticky. Let's pull this right there and put that right there. I don't think I'm gonna like that, but it'll be all right. Gotta put that color up there. And put that right there. Make it look like it's popping from behind that one. Yeah, that'll work. And then maybe a little one right there. Just look like that's coming out of there. Yeah, that'll work. Boop. And boop. Boop, 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 boop. Works out. Okay. Now, I don't think I need to say nothing on forgiveness. I feel like we've been talking about forgiveness for the last year, almost 2 years. I'm at the place now that you probably could come up and slap me in the face right now, and I'd be like, you know what, I forgive you as I dial 911 to call the police to have you arrested. There will be consequences. Now, I forgive you, but there will be consequences. But I'm not gonna talk about forgiveness so much so because it kind of devalues where I've gone. To go back into it and talk to myself continuously about it kind of negates what I've already decided. I'm going to forgive no matter what. Then I set a healthy boundary and continue to move forward because it's all about my peace. I'm not going to give up my peace. And that's the truth, right? I've made the decision with some understandings that now that I know better and now I know how people move and now people have either shown me their true colors or they've shown me how they want to show up in the world, I'm okay with that. And that for me is my emotional intelligence. Like I'm doing better over here for Karen, not for other people. And I want you guys to remember, when you come here every Monday and Wednesday, you're not just here listening at me rant and rate about me. I feel like you're here because you think about things and you're just like, you know what? I want to be a better version of me too. And then we sit here and we talk and we listen. And then, y'all put in the chat what it is. Everybody feels supported, right? So therefore, stop worrying about who is no longer on the journey with you, who has not said that, like they didn't come and say, you look, I'm sorry for what I did to you. They're not going to apologize. We're just going to, in our mind, write in our journal and be like, you know what? They're apologize. I'm just going to let it go. You know what? It's okay. And then you'll be a better person for just letting it go. Now, are they going to be able to come back in your life? Heck no. We still got boundaries. We got healthy boundaries. We know better. We done seen the movie before. We don't want it. We don't want it. Don't want it. Give it to somebody. As a matter of fact, don't even give it to nobody else because I don't want nobody else to go through it. Some people are just contaminated. I like that. Some people are just contaminated. And some people like contamination. So those that like chaotic contamination, let them go on and be together. Hence is how we have the different places we have in the world right now. We got all the different churches we have, which I don't understand why all the different, denominations, all the different, we have the people that like a Democrat, Republic, all of that. Different people have different things. So we're not gonna say that they're good or bad, but that means we don't necessarily have to agree with everything they say, or we don't have to walk with them. We can walk on the other side of the street and be okay, right? Like that. That's very much so beautiful. I think that's ultramarine. I actually like that one. Let's pull that out of there a little bit more. But, and then if we find out we have friends that just are, I call them takers. There's not that they're bad people. They just don't know how to be friends. And remember, I told y'all, I didn't know how to be friend. I had to learn how to be friend. But what happened was God brought people into my life that either gave me like, yo, listen, I need this from you as a friend. This is what I need. And I had the opportunity to say, you know what, I can, okay, cool. Thank you for letting me know. But if nobody lets you know, then it's kind of like working on a daggum job, trying to figure it out. It's like OJT. Y'all remember back in the day, we had a lot of OJT. You didn't have to have degrees or whatever. You had to got OJT, but then they left you and went and hired people that had degrees, and then you had to train them, and you've been there for about 15, 20 years, and then somebody comes out of school and they're doing an internship, and now you got to train them, and then when they get finished with school, they come and take your job. Hey Graham, hey Pika, how y'all doing? Karen, I really like the blues on that flower. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. We are trying our level best. That was too much. Hold on, let me get me a brush to get some of that up. When you put too much down, don't worry about it. Get your dry brush and just pull it up. Pull it up. We're just gonna kind of let that come in there together. And trust the process, but we can take some of it up though, so that it doesn't. There we go. We didn't want it to be too bright because remember these are two leaves. I mean two petals. One's a fuller one up under, and one is brighter. So everybody that's coming in, pick your color. I don't know if everybody else picked that color, but how are you feeling today based on color? I think I feel I don't put this blue down, so I might have changed my color to blue. I'm not sure. Thought it was yellow for the day. Can't remember what I said now. I'm a little rainbowish. Feeling a little rainbowish. Just like that. So kind of get some shadowy work going on, so that way it'll dry. Move that over there. Yes, that's very much so beautiful. Put that over there. Boom. Boom. Like it, love it. Purple, purple. Carla says, I think I told you I took in an abused baby. It's been 18 years. That child's father has messaged me recently, asking for forgiveness and asking me to help him find a lawyer. Forgiveness, yes. Help, no. Yes, forgiveness, yes. Help, no. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Gotta do what you gotta do and whatever you feel is right. I mean, there are people that forgiveness, for one, makes you so angry because you're waiting on it, you're wanting it, and it just takes a lot of joy out your life. And that's what I've learned. I'm not waiting on people to just kind of do it. You know what I'm saying? So it's okay. Don't for me personally, I had to let it go. Now, I'm not going to say that I don't still hold maybe a little bit of a something. I don't know. Because in the boundary making and making the boundaries for some of these people, I still don't think I would sit at the table and eat with them. Right. But I'm still working on it. But I'm no longer worrying about it. I'm not worried about it because I'm just not. And that's important. Everybody who started with me is just, they're not going to finish with me. And I'm okay with that. I don't look for them to support the new version, especially if they met the old version and they like the old version. I'm no longer that girl. I mean, I've lost two children. I've had to heal, and this is a healed version of me. So I come out and I say what I feel, and I just I don't sit up and let people talk to me any kind of way, and I don't let people dictate my household or my husband any kind of way. I just say, you know what, we're not going to do it. And people are not going to make me feel bad or guilty about it. Right? Because like everybody who benefited from my silence, um, they probably now would be like, you know what, she sure got a lot of mouth. I've always had it. I just was trying to give people the opportunity to show up. And sometimes they don't. So after my loss, especially after my son's death, I just didn't have time. So I had to release and had to align the new life of what I was trying that I'm trying to give. And at the end of it all, peace is what I want. So, I don't have the mental fortitude to want to. I don't want to do it. Today, tomorrow, next year, I don't want to do it. I don't. So I don't want to make room for people that have never made room for me or haven't put me maybe second or third. Like I just don't want to do it. I'm over it. And that's in the place of children or no children. I had to learn that, because as a mother, you feel like you have to be in everything that your children say so that they don't make you feel like crap. And then I've owned that, like, oh, nope, I'm cool with feeling like crap. Yep, I'm okay. Because the journey, peace, that's the end. The end of the journey is peace. And if I have to go through telling myself, you know what, in order to sit right here and be okay with you, you got to accept some stuff. So when somebody throws some, what they say, when it hit the fan, I'm ready. Be like, okay, got my mask on. All right, is it coming? When it's coming? You don't know when it's coming, so I'll just be ready for it. Because why? I'm over here healing Karen. And it's okay. Just like we just said with Carly. Yeah, I forgive you, but no, no help. No, we're not going to do that. It's okay. But that's what people do. They make you feel bad about not being there for whatever it is they want you to be there for. And I don't think that's fair. Like that used to be, but I'm not that girl no more. I don't want to do it. I really don't. I like this. Look at that. That's just so cute. We're going to kind of make these flowers a little bit bluer. And in order to do that, I'm going, let's see, what color are you? Yeah, no, not that. Be sticky. Maybe because it's the first time you're using them. I know. Just don't like sticky paints. It's just why I like creamy paints, which is why I like Daniel Smith and Rosa Gallery, because they're not sticky. I need more pigment. Give it to me. Give it to me. Give it to me. Give it to me. What you say? Give it to me right away. Give it to me. Like that. Do 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 do. Also, rheumatologist is leaving, so I'll have a different doctor next time. Oh, Darcy, you gotta get a new doctor. I hate new doctors. I go to the doctor Friday. Oh, luckily we have a relationship, but she's new. But sometimes I hate new doctors. You gotta explain your whole life all over again. Just like, oh. But the good thing is this doctor did make life a little bit better for me. So I'm sometimes new. Trust in the process, guys. Trust the process. Let's put that over there. Now let's see. I don't want to over let me leave it alone. I want it to dry a little bit more. Just lay that down there. Yeah, and come over there. Line work is not going to be able to come now. All right. Let me leave it alone. So I want it to dry so that way I can pull the sides up. But that It's 1, 2. We got 3 flowers in here. That one is kind of over there. See, we need to put, let's see, what is this? Let's do a little line work. That over there. That one right there. Separate. This is also another way when you do your watercolors, you actually can draw it out before. I don't like drawing out before. I just like to be a little bit more intuitive with my with my paint. I just kind of like let it go where it go. Let it go where it want to go. I don't want to control it. But you can. You can do it if you want to. Do what you want. Trust the process. Do what you want. There's that. And this is a regular old micron pen. Nothing fancy. Nothing fancy. Okay, that's it. Being a good parent doesn't mean you are your kid's best friend. It's that boundary again. Yeah, Carol. And that's that right there. You said it right there. That right there is the part that if your kids don't have kids, or if your kids like isn't there to where they finally hit that, oh, I can't be your friend because I gotta tell you what to do. It's hard. And when we birth these children, there's no book that says how to do it, right? So I try to give my mother grace. I left home at 16. So I try to give her grace, and we have a better relationship now because of it. And that's because I had to get over my bitterness and my attitude, and I had to forgive. I had to forget, get rid of my anger and all the things, and set healthy boundaries. So that way, when I do show up, we have a better relationship because I'm not on 10 and she's not on 10. Now, if she comes in on 10, I just don't say anything, and eventually she kind of, reads the room. She reads the room a little bit better. But there's no issues, there's no problems. But sometimes people just don't understand. I'm not, and even like now, I'm not here to judge. Like I have grandchildren, I have 14 grandchildren, and I'm definitely not here to try to help nobody raise no children, because I want you to understand that the same life that I had to raise you, I want you to be the adult and do better. Because if I was bad, I want you to be better. Be better than I was, and it'll be okay, right? Because you cannot keep making the same mistakes and then blaming it, backing it up and blaming it on your upbringing. You can't do that. You got to be committed to healing, and you can't live in the past. You can't be committed to your past. You got to let it be. You got to just walk that path of moving forward. You got to learn that your opinion is your opinion, and you need to fact check your memory, because sometimes we tell a lie so much we start believing it, and it stops our healing, right? I was talking to my one of my daughters, I think it was daughter number 2, and we were talking about relationships, and I was saying, looking at it from my healed place of where I am now, I wouldn't have got into X, Y, and Z. Not to say at the time that the person or persons was bad. It's just that's where I was then. But now that we're talking about it, in the place of where I am now, I wouldn't be there. Right? So it's not to say that where I was just so bad. It was just my opinion of how I'm feeling. And that's all I be telling people is fact check your memory. Are you speaking from the place of where you are right now? You're healed. You're in a place where you have a little bit more wisdom, right? And you're talking about where you were in the past, and you're using your current situation to talk about the past. That's not fair to the past, which in most cases is not fair to parents, because where you speaking from now, it's not where you was, right? And your job is to keep becoming a better person. That does not mean that you don't care, or the person, you don't care. We don't care about what happened to you. It doesn't mean that we don't care about who you are. That's not what it's saying. But it is necessary to forgive and move on and choose peace so that you can have a healthier version of you. And that's why I started doing, y'all, I told you I'm doing my little emotional intelligence, because it helps you respond instead of reacting to people. And Lord knows, I told y'all I needed to respond, not react. Now I'm not gonna use it. I think I got some tape. Um, I got some painter's tape. This is better. We're gonna let that other one dry. Maybe the next. Yeah, we're in denial. Refuse to acknowledge the severity of that child's injury and denial cause. Ooh, okay. Same. Yeah, yeah. Okay, let's go over here. This is painter's tape, and it's a bigger. I usually use it with my bigger papers, but we're gonna make it's gonna cut this shorter. Probably about this is 5x7 paper, I think. And so this is gonna make it more like a 4x5, I think. I'll measure it at the end if you want to know if it's important. It's not important to me. Welcome, welcome. Hello, hello. Okay, remember I said if you had not subscribed to the channel and if you were still hanging out later, I will give you a special invitation. Here it is. It's that time. Because if you've been hanging out for this whole time, because you've been here for an hour, if you have not subscribed to the channel, do hit that subscribe button, that bell notification all, so that you'll be notified when I do go live. I would love for you to hit the subscribe button. If you've been here for the whole hour, that means you like what's going on. You like the slapping the paint on the paper. You like conversation, and you want to be around where we slap paint on paper and heal one brushstroke at a time. That is my invitation for you. Team Replay, if you are not subscribed, here you go. You're still here. If you got me on fast, hit that thumbs up and hit that subscribe button, that bell notification all, so that way you'll be notified when I do go live. All right, we're going in with another brush. We're going to do a different kind of thing here. And I'm going to try to stay committed to this palette. I am. But remember, I want you to be in a place where your reaction isn't from a angry place. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Because when you're trusting the process, forgiving and letting people go, your emotions, they usually are going to come up, right? They are. And sometimes when people get to the point to where they feel bad, they're usually gonna, you're gonna blame somebody. See how sticky that is? Ugh, get on up here. And it's okay. So if you're the brunt of somebody's anger, just be okay with it. You don't have to respond. You don't have to respond. You don't. But remember, we have to let people navigate through their life how they want to navigate through their life. It's not right or wrong. It's just being what it is. That's just it. Let's put that on the tip. I think I got enough in the butt. Come on, come on. There we go. Y'all see how much water I put on that? All right, let's take this. We're gonna go right here in the corner. And we're going all around. Right, gonna close it up all around because we want it to go over the tape. It's gonna be very beautiful. Oh, that's gonna be. Now let's get this. Come on, wake up, little Susie, wake up. Sticky paint. I will not tell y'all. Do not buy this paint, but it's got too much gum Arabic in it. It ends up being sticky like that. That's what somebody told me. I don't know if it's true or not. Shay, you was behind on the video. It's okay. And if you're just coming in and you might need to hit live so you can show up, especially if you want to chat. But if you don't want to chat, it's okay. But just make sure you're caught up because what I'm doing on the screen doesn't usually necessarily go with what maybe you're looking at. But if you're just here for the slapping the paint on the paper, it's cool. All right, let's put this one right here and go around. See, we want to go over the paint. And then we're going to swoop that right there. Boop, boop. Oh, that's very much so beautiful. Adrian, your team. This is cadmium orange too, by the way. Wake up. That's why you have to wake your paint up. I sprayed it 3, 4 times and it's still just not doing what I wanted to do. But we're not gonna worry about it. We're still gonna stop this paint on this paper and keep it moving. And we're gonna put this one over here. We're gonna go on outside the line. That worked out good. That's the bottom. 3. I'll leave it at that. And then we're gonna come back over here. I can't take it no more, y'all. I'm done. I'll have to play with them later and really get into them. I will. And this is another thing that happens. This is another thing that happens when you think about when you're doing your paint, when you're slapping your paint down, you just don't have you don't have time. And so, when people talk about paint and what kind of paint they use, I think paint is different for everybody. I do not have time to be sitting up doing what y'all just saw me do with that sticky paint. Don't have time. Don't want to do it. Now we're going to pull this all the way down here. We're going to make this like that and let that go down there. And pull that one over there. It's got those pretty leaves. Boop, boop, all the way in the corner, over the tape. And you want to go over the tape. Pam, how are you? Pam, you still out of country? That's pretty. Right there. Put that right there. Boop, 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 boop. Boop, 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 boop. Boop, boop. Come over here and drop it. Drag it. Leave it. See how long you don't have to keep digging in this. It just wakes up. It just be there for you. These are my Daniel Smith watercolors. They are they're in the top 5. Let's put that right there and pull that right there. Flip it. Rub it. Just some more paint. There. Boop, boop. We just got to San Francisco. 22 hours of travel. I am done. Oh my goodness. So that means you're gonna be like jet lag? I know you had fun. It was so good to see you and Lord have mercy. Why did I just draw an old lady blank? Die. It was good to see you and Di together. You and Di could pass for sisters. I'm trying to tell you. And it might be the curly hair for sure, for sure. It might be the curly hair. Sorry to get too personal. Karen has been a big help going to fix supper. Love y'all. Carly, not personal, no personal. This is our community. Like Carla's gone through some things. I think this is what works for us. This is why it works. Like there's somebody here that has gone through some things. And then remember, we don't all have to go and look at the daggum movie. I can give you the Cliff Note versions to some of the movies I've watched in life. You don't got to go experience that crap for yourself. Some of the movies I've seen in raising children, you ain't got to go through it. If you're a young parent and you happen to make your way over here and you're raising kids, I can't help you with the technology these days because I didn't raise kids for tech days, but I have grandkids. And Lord knows all I say is, "Ooh, that just gets on my nerves." But it's because I'm not that kind of mama, you know. So it's okay. But usually when you feel a way, you just ask yourself, well, why am I feeling this way? Be like, listen, because they got that technology and I'm not into it. And then you be like, well, why are you feeling bad about it? Or why are you feeling like mad about it? And then you have to really be honest with yourself. It's the technology. It's just getting on my nerves. I just want to sit here at the table and eat dinner without all this technology. If that's your thing, right? Or you might ask the question, what do I need to understand more so that you can be in, kind of be more with them, or have a time limit. I was trying to have time limits, but Mr. McCoy wasn't making it easier because he kept giving the charger. So it wasn't working. So Tuesday was just like no technology Tuesday. So it was kind of like, I set the grounds because I wanted to be with them. I didn't want to be with them and everybody else that was on their phone. That's pretty, like that. Hi, Topeka. So at the end of the day, remember, trust the process in the chaos. You have to define the chaos. What is the chaos? You have to define it for your life. Mine, I have about 3 or 4 lanes that I have that are not as chaotic. Why? Because I've forgiven myself for getting in the chaos. I've forgiven myself for people pleasing in the chaos. And I've forgiven other people because they just don't have the energy to be what I need them to be. That was the key, right? Because the goal is not to act like I do not feel it. The goal is to stop letting every feeling make my decision. And that's what I was doing, right? You can feel hurt and still respond with wisdom. That's what I do now. That's my emotional intelligence. So usually the people that have been in my life in the past, they're just like, yeah, you know what? I don't know where you're coming from. I ain't got time for this and I ain't got time for that. And I'll be like, and I ain't got time for, you. I don't have time for chaos. I'm growing up. I've realized that sitting up here talking about people is just not gonna, it's not very mature, and I just choose not to do it anymore. So if I'm gonna have a conversation about you, I'm gonna be able to help you, right? Everybody doesn't want to do that. Just like what Carla said earlier. She chose to stand up and help. Everybody doesn't want to do that. So that's what trust in the process is. And the process usually is going to teach you how to choose yourself without guilt. I'm just saying. And you're going to have to get over being guilty, because choosing yourself doesn't mean that you do not love the people or the person. It just, choosing yourself does not mean you're being selfish. Choosing yourself really doesn't even mean that you're better than anybody else. Other people are going to say these things. You're not going to say these things. Other people are going to say these things. And just be okay with it, right? You're not going to show up to the family reunion. They're going to talk about you. Who cares? Your peace matters. Your healing. Your purpose matters. Your mind matters. And at the end of the day, your future really, really, I mean, it matters. Most of the time, that only affects families because family usually say, oh, well, you just act like, you've arrived. And I'm quick to say, I have. I know what peace looks like. I had to go back and I told you I had to apologize to my children. I raised y'all in chaos. Like I just did when peace came, I was just like, oh, it's so quiet. Like, what am I doing? Like, oh, I gotta go and make some noise. Or you feel like you gotta get in an argument just because to get something going. No, you don't. We don't have to do that. We really don't. Let that thing go. Let people be who they want to be. Let them show up stink if they want to show up stink. We don't care no more. You know what your joy looks like. You know what your peace looks like. And then most of us have other things going on in our life. The older we get, the less we have time to deal with other people's BS.com. And for some of us, choosing ourselves feels uncomfortable, right? We're so used to people pleasing because we have spent so much time adjusting ourselves to everybody else in the world. Let me tell you one thing I learned after my son's death. I needed to just back up and take care of Karen because too many people was trying to take, pull, 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 take. And I have spent so much time being strong that I just forgot that I was allowed to take care of me. So I had to just walk away from a lot of people. I was not happy that COVID happened, but when COVID happened, it saved me. I got to go inside, literally inside of me, and decide what was coming out, what did I want to do, but I had to trust the process. And the process will teach you. You cannot keep abandoning yourself and calling it love. You can't keep doing yourself like that. That's just not right. And you can't keep asking yourself to show up for everybody else when you're just not showing up for yourself. It's just not fair to you. You can't keep shrinking, because if you shrink, then you're going to shrink your peace. You're going to shrink your joy. And then you're going to be over here, you're going to be mad and you're going to be bitter. You're going to be trying to figure out, well, what happened? When I left the house, I was feeling so great. Well, hell, you went around them people who don't care about you. And all they're doing is they done plugged into your source and they're draining the life out of you. And then they're going to leave you right there. They're not going to try to help you. They're not going to call you and ask you, are you needing anything? Do you need something? Like, I haven't heard from you in a couple of weeks. Are you okay? They're not gonna do that. All they're gonna do is call you and ask you for your money, your food, your car, your time. That's all. But that version of you needs to trust the process. Trust the process. And then the other thing, I want you to name what you feel without judging yourself, right? Separate the feeling from the decision. You decide not to go, don't over explain it. Just say no. No is a complete sentence. Forgive without reopening every door. Like Carla just said, yeah, I forgive you, but no to help. You can forgive someone and still keep a boundary. That is a good example what Carla said earlier about a boundary. That's it. And people not gonna be, they're not gonna be happy with you. I'm just gonna tell you straight up, they're not gonna be happy. But forgiveness does not mean that you have the same access. It is not. You can release the bitterness and still not return to the same pattern of life. Remember, we pray for people, we love them, and we move on. That's not cold. That's just being wise and protecting yourself. And then again, don't explain your growth to people committed to misunderstanding you. My biggest thing in my marriage now, and that's a transparent moment, was that we had kids. We both had kids coming into our marriage. And so coming in, I felt like we need to co-parent, and therefore we needed to be open, right? But both of our spouses just wanted what they wanted. It's just like the ex is just like, well, I got two wives or I got two husbands. It's like, wait a minute, no, you married to that lady over there, you married to that man over there, we're married to each other. That's not how we're gonna do this, right? So I was having an issue because I really want to put my foot down and just say, no, we're not doing that. But I let Mr. McCoy handle it. I handled my ex and said, no, that's not what we're doing. But Mr. McCoy tried to handle his, and because he's the people pleaser of our bunch, it didn't turn out well. So then when I finally put my foot down and let the rubber hit the road, everybody around me saying I was throwing a tantrum. But I was choosing to stand up and just say, no, that's not what we're doing. That's not how we're gonna do it. Right? That doesn't align with my life. That doesn't align with my core values of how I want to do things. That caused some tension, but I was willing to put that boundary up, and that was that. Do I care? Do I look back on it and say I wish I wouldn't have? No, I wish I would have did it day one. Literally, I wish I would have did it day one. But that's just how it is. And it doesn't make it right or wrong. It's just that how I wanted to live my life with my husband was what I wanted. And that was just it. So I chose to respond in a way that I felt was ladylike for me, because I ain't go to jail. Because technically, I really want. If it was today's Karen, I probably would slap the taste out of somebody's mouth, because the version of me who I am now wouldn't take a lot of things that happened in the past. I just wouldn't. So, but I also learned how to forgive. And forgiveness, I forgave me for not doing some of the things I felt like I should have done early on. But forgiveness frees you. It does not always reconnect you, but forgiveness is about releasing the weight. It does not mean every relationship goes back to the way it was or that you're going to have a different relationship moving forward. If we do, we have it with a different set of rules. Some people can't be forgiven and still be a part of your next chapter. I've learned that. I know what that looks like. You're not going to piss on me and tell me it's raining, right? Stop worrying about who is no longer walking with you. I had to let that go. That was a big one. And I had to stop feeling guilty about it. And the other thing I want to remind you is trusting the process means choosing the next wise step. You'd be like, Karen, what does that mean? That means your next step. You do not have to figure it out today. All you have to do is just ask yourself, what's next for me? Be selfish about the next step. Whatever it is you're going to do, be honest about the next step and make sure it only includes you first. You first. And then after that, then you can, kind of go along with it. But make sure you're taking care of you first. Okay. Okay. We've done these. I like this. I like the depth in that. Really, really like that. I like these. Now, let me see. I think I might have to hit it with the heat tool so it doesn't rip my paper. But we're going to see. We're going to see. We're going to see. Nope. It is coming up with no problemos. So trusting the process doesn't mean that you're laying down to be a doormat. Trusting the process in your life just means you might have to set some healthy boundaries. And trusting the process in art, that's a whole different conversation. Watercolors, just do what makes you happy. Just saying. Look at that. Ooh, let's see. This one, now that was painter's tape. That was actually the right tape. Let's see if this washi tape. Oh, that washi tape don't come up too. Oh, yes. See, trust it. Trust the process. Try it. Then if it don't, then we have to go back and get the heating tool. But you can, if you put tape down like this and it starts ripping your paper, because sometimes it depends on the paper, you get your heating tool and kind of go around to it'll pop up. It'll just let it go. Just let it go. Let it go. Let's see what we got down. Too big. I think that might be too big. Yeah, too big. What size is it? I probably don't have a thing to go around it. I only see it that. Nope. See, it won't work. Okay, I kind of want to show y'all what it looks like. Well, we can kind of do a little bit. You get a little bit. You'll get the gist. Get the gist of it. It should be bigger. You can get frames. Let me get my ruler. Let's get our ruler. That is 4.5 by almost 7. And the paper is, it's more than 5.5, but not quite 6. Interesting size. And this is almost 8. So probably if you wanted to frame it out, because sometimes I like to have mine framed out. Like, check that out. If you put that in a frame, like right there. But get a 8x10. I don't have an 8x10 frame. I know I don't. Because I've already put it in not a frame. These are, yeah, frame size. The frame size. So 5x7. Oh, this one's a little better. It's a little better. Hi, Marina. Hey, Marina. How are you? I almost didn't recognize that. It's like, wait a minute, that looks familiar. How are you doing? Look at that. So you can take that. This gives you, so this one is a 5x7 frame size, but it's a 4x6. That one looks good. So if you want all of it in the frame, the actual around there, then you would just kind of go on that, get a 5x7 frame. So that way it would have paper that will cover it, and then you put it in a frame. I like that. Or you do this one. I would want all of this one because I like my flower down there. I would want to show it all. So, but that's another, this is just another example of what I do when I tape it off and use it. Watercolor. See how I'm missing that down there? So I wouldn't want to miss any of it. So I would want it all framed out. And I don't have any of the frames, which probably, I don't know. But there we go. That is today how that worked out. And I hope you enjoyed more intense of slapping paint on paper because you got it all, the brushes and all. We use 6 brushes. Now this over here, I might go back in and do some, you know what? As a matter of fact, I know it's dry. So let's get our little line work brush. Pull back out our Daniel Smith green. I want darker green. Let's put a little work in that. Put a little bit in there. And kind of just go up there. Kind of pull that down there. And there. Yeah, like that. The things that bring you joy. Anything that doesn't bring you joy and doesn't make your heart happy, just don't spend too much time on it if you can help it. If you can help it. Now, if it's something that, like, you're on a job, you have to be on a job, that's a little different, unless you can go get another job. But don't leave a job just because, you can't handle the people that are there. That just maybe means you might need to work on self. And remember, we spend time over here working on ourselves because our emotional intelligence is important to us, ourselves, right? We're not here working on anybody else. It's not our fault, or it's not no one else's fault that our emotions or our feelings are, just out of whack. We have to ask ourselves, why am I feeling this way? What is happening? What about this situation made me mad? And what am I going to do about it? That's it. Don't blame other people for things that make you feel bad. That's just your emotional intelligence. That's just claiming it. Now, you might be like, well, you don't know what they said to me. You don't know what they did to me. It doesn't matter. Just own your stuff. Just own you were there in the room. They said what they said. You said what you said. Like you just happened to be in the situation. It's okay. Don't worry about it. Take care of you. Remember the little girl on the TikTok or wherever this little girl is? She just worry about yourself. Worry about yourself. That's the best thing I think I've heard. Is worry about yourself. Take a deep breath. Take care of you in that moment. And then the next time when it comes up, you can respond very, very, very mature like. Remember, they might slap you and just be like, you know what? I forgive you as you have the phone in your hand calling the police. Because there is consequences for doing certain things. You're just not gonna let people willy-nilly come up, slapping you and calling you all kinds of names. Just pick up the phone and call the police. Just like it just because remember, this is why I don't carry a gun. Because I'm like when I get emotional and when I feel like real, real, real threatened, I tend to be pushed in a corner and I feel like sometimes I have to fight my way out. And so you can't undo a bullet killing somebody. So I don't want that responsibility. So I'm over here taking care of ways that I can react without reacting because people are going to do what they want to do. They are. There's nothing wrong with that either. There's nothing wrong with that. If I be threatened, I have my gun locked up. If I be threatened, I have my gun locked up. Where is the bail money out here? Yeah, see, I don't even want to talk about bail money because I don't even want to go to jail. Y'all already know I like to pee in private. And I like to be able to come and go when I want to. That's one thing about it. I don't you listen. If somebody comes on here and get on my channel and logs on, Mr. McCoy comes on here and be like, well, Karen's not gonna be on for a couple of years because she's locked up. you know I got set up. Because I'm pretty much gonna walk away from a situation. I'm gonna smile through situations. I pretty much am not finna get in no fight with nobody. I don't want nobody talking about I did nothing, and I'm definitely not gonna be with no gun. The closest I get to a gun is shooting these daggum snakes around here. That's it. That's like the lady in North Carolina that killed, shot the man in the parking lot. She can't undo that, but I know she didn't mean to it. But he was coming up on her. He was like literally, she didn't know what he was gonna do next. So she felt that her life was threatened. I get it. I just don't want to be the one. That's why I stay home, y'all. Told y'all that's why I stay home. I don't want nobody to bother me, and I don't want to bother nobody. Just want to paint. Just want to have fun in the studio. That's all. That's all. That's all. So as we take a deep breath and smooth. Yes, Cookie, that is the Morena that was in the studio. It is. Mr. McCoy isn't going to tell us. You better find a way to let Mariah know. You know what? You might be right, Zell. You might be right. I might do better by calling Mariah instead of calling Mr. McCoy. You got it. You right. You right. You right. I'm gonna give you that one. I'm gonna give you that one. I mean, I don't know. For number one, probably couldn't get him on the phone. It's probably, yeah. I think we might need to do that or call one of my daughters. But somebody might will have to have my login, or no, they'll just have to go on their channel and tell you. It's just like, Lord, we're not going to even speak that into existence. Let's not even have that conversation because I don't need the enemy even thinking that I'm thinking about going nowhere except for an island that's lay and put my feet up. Going to hang out with Paula Kay in Barbados. That's what I'm going to do. But no. Yeah, I got some keyword spots on here. Some things you can't say. We don't say everything in the world. Remember, this is a safe space. And I know we have some emotions, but yeah, YouTube will snatch some things back because I've told it to. Because remember, this is a place of we're moving forward to have a clear mind to heal going forward. And I know some of us have been through some things and we're still going through some things, but this is a safe space to kind of heal with some words, but not all words. But you got to remember, as for me and my house, I shall serve the Lord. So, and we don't want to offend. We don't want to offend. We do not want to offend. There we go. Look at that. That's very much so beautiful. I don't know if Mr. McCoy listening or not. He off today. He went to the doctor. He wanted me to do something outside. I said, today Wednesday, right? And as a matter of fact, it's July, right? He looked, he's like, oh yeah. Okay. I like that. Look at that. You see that definition in the middle of there? Oh yes. And let's put a little bit up there. Why not? Let's not leave that one naked, but let's go in with some deeper red. My colors are so saturated. Ask me if I care. Nope. That means this palette is loved. This is my Daniel Smith palette. I have way more Daniel Smith than this. I need to get a bigger and try to put all of them in there because I do use all of my Daniel Smith, which is probably why I don't do a lot of mixing because I got all the colors. Let's pull that up there. There we go. Just put some red in the middle. There we go. Blake is snoring up something. There we go. Ooh, let's not go to the edge because we don't have tape on no more. Let's leave that alone. There we go. Boop, boop, boom. Got it. All right. All right, where are we at? Oh, 4:30. Yeah, let's get up. I'm hungry. We're going to go. We're not going to hang out too much longer. I'm going to let this one dry completely. We can turn it this way, you can turn it that way. I love it, love it, love it. All right, let me put my, we got to sign the things. This is on good paper, what I call it. What is it? Arches. So these will go, these will be originals on the website. There we go. Boom. And just like that, we're done with them. That is so pretty. So you see with this right here, this was green. I could have did the same thing over here with the micron that I did over here, but I figured we can show you how it's done when you take paint. So when it dries, once it dries, like it's not even dry now, it's still a little wet. I'll probably come back in and make this a little darker because I want these to be a little darker because as big as the flower leaves are, the bigger they are, then they shouldn't be the same color as these. These are little, so they're still going to be out. If you think about a flower, the bigger it is, the more it's opened up, then it's going to eventually get lighter, right? So that is where I want these to be a little darker so it looks like they're getting ready to fall off and these are not. But there we go. See you later, Zal. I'm getting ready to get off of here. Me too. I'll see you. I'll see you, Zal. So as we close today, I want you to hear me clearly when I say you can trust the process without understanding every detail. Y'all trusted me on making these right here. You can forgive without going backwards. You can love people without carrying them into every season of your life. Everybody is not meant to go forward with you. Your future seasons does not mean the people that were in the old seasons are going forward. When you start healing your heart and you choose peace, you're going to drop some people. Okay. And that's okay. You can release what is no longer healthy for you, and you can still have a soft heart. You can stop worrying about who is no longer walking with you, and you can still walk forward with grace. This week, I want you to take action, right? This is World Watercolor Month, and we're going to be here every single day. And I want you to give yourself grace, but I want you to take action, set boundaries in your life in places that need to be set. People make you feel bad, then just set up a fence and tell them they can't come in for about a week or two. Usually, when people are not around you, they'll miss you, but you don't miss them and their bad behavior. You don't always have to tell people that they have a bad behavior. Sometimes your absence in their life lets you know that they have a bad behavior. Pick one area of your life where you have been trying to hold everything together and release it. Journal about it and ask yourself, do I really need to keep holding on to this? Forgive yourself for beating yourself up about it. Who do you need to just say no to and not over explain it? What does the next step for your peace look like? I want you to do that. I want you to journal. I want you to make a note, put it on sticky notes, because y'all know we got our little sticky notes. Write the top 3 things on your sticky notes and put it on your mirror. I got to set a boundary today. I got to stop over satisfying today. I have to forgive today. Just 3. And I promise you, your emotional intelligence will also kick in and say, you know what? This is what I need to do for me. Because when you set a boundary, if you need to set it, take that walk if you need to, because you'll feel better. Okay? Believe yourself, forgive, release, and keep walking. And remember, every day may continue. You may not continue on the journey with people. It's okay. It's okay. Y'all, thank you for being here. Thank you for being here with me today, because you know what? It's World Watercolor Month 2026, and we're showing up every single day for World Watercolor Month. And I thank you guys for showing up. Team Replay, thank you for showing up. I really do appreciate you. Like this video, share it with someone who needs encouragement. Subscribe if you have not already. And come back as we continue creating joy, choosing our peace, and giving ourselves grace. And we trust the process in the chaos. I love you all, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.